Hello, everyone. I'm making this. I don't know if this is just gonna go in my archives or on the internet, but here we are, 2024. Last year was bad at documenting, bad at cataloging. There was a lot of topsy turvy shit that happened, and the world got spun upside down, and I've had time to process it now. And rather than do a full report on like what happened to me previously this year, I'm just gonna say that I am doing a lot better now. I am treating bipolar disorder, which is great, and I am acquainted with walking a path, not of total sobriety, because personally for me, I think I think that's letting the fear of living life control me. Addiction is a very individual process for everybody. So I love soda. You know those people who work out 5 times a week and don't drink soda because they think it's poison and it's going to ruin their body? I like soda. And I know other people who have six packs, who have great fucking bodies, they drink soda. So the all or nothing approach didn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. And I'm not going to give up soda or alcohol just because somebody with a fucking book is telling me to. Anyway, I phrased that wrong. But I'm not going to give up things that I enjoy doing just because I had a little problem with extremism. Not even in relation to alcohol, but just in terms of substance abuse. Like I've grappled with the idea of total sobriety. It's unrealistic and it doesn't work. But anyway, I digress, okay? I got put in mental hospitals last year. I got put in rehab last year. It's so nice to be able to say it was last year. I almost got put in a fucking sober living home last year, which was almost the death of my freedom. So here I am. I was clever enough, pat yourself on the back, to get through that, and learning when to say no. Learning when to say no to people in a position of authority, okay? Because somebody who has a degree and who's a professional and who's been working in a field, your inclination is to trust that they're trying to steer you in the right direction, okay? And if I had listened to the people in charge, I would have ended up in a halfway house, which is where that sober living. Again, chronology is not important to this story, but don't sell your freedom just because you believe somebody in a position of power has your best interests in mind. All right? It's unrealistic, and it's also, I don't want to live my life just bowing my head to people. And there are times to do that, and dealing with positions of authority is difficult, especially when you do have to take their word for it, and you also have to trust them, because there are people with kind hearts in positions of authority who really do want the best for you. They do not want to control you. They want you to live your best life. Okay? Just the whole philosophy of AA felt like they were trying to control me. And yeah, in some cases, like, a person, I guess, needs to be controlled. But I'm fine. I made it out the other side. Anyway, today I saw The Iron Claw. My second movie of this year. First was The Color Purple, amazing. Could talk about that for hours also. But I figure as I relate a lot more to The Iron Claw in terms of the familial dynamic, and also Zac Efron, like the physical transformation that happened with him, in addition to the emotional weight he carried throughout the movie. It's just, there is a man walking on a roof over there. It always blows my mind that, like, people just do that shit and they're not Spider-Man. Like, you're gonna fall. Anyway, Zac Efron, this is now a Zac Efron stan account, because if he doesn't get award recognition for that role, it better just open up like floodgates of opportunity for him, because Zac Efron, the comedic actor, like, not the best, kind of, wasn't he in Neighbors or something, or We Are Your Friends, which, he was young still. He also didn't have like the training and he was still a heartthrob. I think, honestly, and this is fucked up, but I think that accident that happened to him was probably the best thing that could have happened for his career in terms of legitimacy. Because he's still attractive. He's still a handsome man, but he's not a pretty boy anymore. So I believed him when he played Kevin Von Erich, you know, a world champion or an aspiring world wrestling champion. The movie was about showmanship. It was about familial trauma. It was about growing past our old demons and really celebrating, I mean, the future as well as the present. But I'm trying to collect my thoughts about it. And I think that the best part of the movie was that it was the structure of it. It built so much in the beginning as just like uplifting story that nothing could touch them, that it was almost unrealistic that there was no conflict. And then you start to see it. Oh shit, the dad is the curse of that movie. The dad is the Von Erich curse. Is he is pushing his children to the point of exhaustion and death and suicide. And I think that as long as there exists families like that and stories like that, which there always will be families like that, that I think that stories like that are important. Anyway, I love to ramble to a camera. Where was I going with this? So I wrote down a few of my dreams, and this is important. What I have to say is important, even if it may not come off the most eloquent. I'm in 5 days of detox from smoking weed, so forgive my brain in its recovery. And I'm anxious these days because of that recovery. So give me a fucking break. Yeah, familial trauma, plans for this year. So my plans for this year are to move out of New Jersey. Okay, I love being here. I had loved my time here. I always want to fly free. I'm going to turn the light on. No, you're allowed to talk about yourself. This is your moment to talk about yourself. So feel free to talk all about yourself, all that you want. I want to read more. I want to explore myself more. I want to take pictures and show them to people. I want to write more, obviously. All this planning, you can call it bullshit planning. I want to do more. I want to do more than I was doing before. Okay? I won't say I wasn't doing a lot before, but I was also very hurt and scared and didn't want to make the effort because I felt that it was not worth it. Whatever that means. And I love being a performer. Like right now, I'm performing for this camera. I could talk like this and make it a super sad story with no animation. Or I could talk like I normally do, which is how I perform for people, aka my personality. What else am I talking about? I want to learn shit like music production and editing and Photoshop. Things that have been in my wheelhouse since I was in London, or since I was preparing to go to London, which was 2021. So it's been 3 years since I've been desiring to improve myself, and I've done it in very small ways. Obviously therapy and medication and a lot of honesty with the self is important. What else to catalog? I haven't had real sex since February of last year, so I'm hoping to change that. I'm hoping fingers fucking crossed, I'm hoping a nice Prince Charming for Valentine's Day this year, but it might not happen, and I might have to settle for what I'm currently going through, but I will not keep that. I will not say anything more about that because I want to protect this person because they are cute and nice, but they're not for me forever, so it's hard to have to deal with dating when you know that. Or not even hard to deal with dating, but it's hard to get to know people when you're almost like 99%, or I won't say 99%, but you're almost 90% sure that they're not the one because they're not in the right place. Okay? And I get that you can form bonds with people in different places and they go other places and you see them later, blah, blah, blah. The world is transient. I wish I was smarter I wish I had a better vocabulary. I wish I could skip over the river, but I have to walk on the stones now. What else? I'm pretty boy crazy, looky loo these days. I enjoy looking at hot people. I always rubberneck for hot people. I think that I'm unapologetic about that. I think that a lot of this desire can sort of be a way to. Let me just check the time on this. Yeah, this is going to be a long one today because I have a lot to say. Um, what was I saying before? Okay, the story that I'm working on right now, TTWM X or E, Time Traveling with My Ex, is the working title. This is about my journey. It's about a couple's journey. It is about finding love in foreign places. And it's also about how wondering what could have been and dealing with the aftermath of what didn't happen or what maybe could have happened but didn't happen, and dealing with that. It is about a loss, a huge loss in my life. It's about a person who greatly influenced me. I had this crazy thought during the movie, during one of the scenes where he read a letter from his brother in Japan, his brother had already passed, but he had sent him a letter from Japan, a postcard, and he said, I'll see you anyway. So I guess there's no point in writing this, but he obviously never saw him again, alive. So more so, writing this story is about honoring what happened to me, about honoring our relationship, and also the curiosity that it took in the first place to want to get into a relationship like that. The fascination with another culture, the fascination with living life. I don't want to be dramatic and say that this person saved my life, because I've said that a lot. And that's a lot of burden to put on one person, or at least a grand statement to make. I don't want to be like, sobbing and unable to function and being like, I can't live without him, because the truth is I have been living without him. I've been living without him for 3 years. Almost 4. Right? 4 years, I think. I don't know. We met in 2019. I can't do math right now. It's been a long time. We haven't been in a relationship since that. That's the funny part, is that I'm still like rambling, but we were in each other's lives even when we weren't. So he's still in my life. Live. He's still in my life, even when he's not. So I don't know if I should write that letter, but I should definitely put pen to paper, finger to keyboard, mind over matter, and write this story, because otherwise I'm going to wonder what if. I don't want to wonder what if about this story, because I still constantly wonder what if things were different. Okay? And then I end up settling and be like, but things weren't different. They happened that way. I can't go back and change them. Of course, there's room to overcorrect, which is a DBT term. The overcorrection, not overcompensation. And divergent thinking to convergent thinking, which is another thing I have to work on. I'm learning about an approach to learning, maybe a different approach that would work for me. And again, just I want to write this story because I don't want to wonder what if. Okay, it's the same reason I quit smoking weed, or I'm abstaining from it or whatever, because I don't like to put an absolute on it. But I think what I got from it and the joy and pleasure that it gives me, it is an addiction. That's what it is. That pleasure feels really good. And maybe you need to replace that with something, you know? But I'm also dealing with the fact that things are okay. There's a lot of planning that needs to happen. I need to actually sit down and make these plans. Okay? I'm hoping now that I have freedom from work, and I'm hoping work doesn't stress me out to the point where I want to hit the dispensary up. And maybe I have to pay attention a little bit to that distress while it's happening. Okay? So that's where I'm at. This is reality. This is my reality. And I obviously haven't talked about everything that's on my mind, but this is enough for now. So thank you very much for listening, and thank you for showing up for yourself. Okay?